But of course, they need to keep hold of their talisman, Harry Kane. I like the appointment. I know a lot of people maybe were underwhelmed, but you think of big names that they've had in the past like Conte and Mourinho, and it hasn't quite worked out. So I think the new manager coming in, I think he plays attractive, attacking football. But of course they need to keep hold of their talisman, Harry Kane. It's a difficult one with Harry. I don't think as a person who's been around a Spurs camp for as long as I have as well, and it's a fantastic club, but unfortunately the squad hasn't been built around him the way it should have. I think all Spurs fans would give him a blessing if he wants to leave, but what I would say is sometimes the grass isn't always greener. I think he could be a club legend at Spurs, and obviously having one foot in the Spurs camp, I'd love him to stay. Well, you'd have to say it looks that way. He does need to win trophies, I think, a player of that calibre. But having said that, I've always said all the way through, really, being the Premier League's record goal scorer is not to be sniffed at. I mean, I know it'd be amazing for him to go and lift other trophies. I think if he goes to someone like Real Madrid, you could understand it, because that's a club that always seems to win trophies. But if he stays and breaks Alan Shearer's record, it's something that you'd think he'd have forever. Yeah, James Maddison is a player that Spurs fans will take to their hearts. An incredibly talented player, young, kind of English, someone who can galvanise the team, and it's someone really that if they keep hold of Harry Kane, then he needs, because I often found last year Harry Kane having to drop deep and create things himself, and you almost need two Harry Kanes in a way. And the signing of Maddison you'd like to think would replace that. Harry Kane dropping deep. That's exactly where Maddison wants to get on the ball, on the half turn and feeding passes into someone like Harry Kane. So I think it'd be, it's a tremendous signing for the club. Yeah, I think the signing, obviously, of Alexis McAllister. I think maybe potentially putting Trent into midfield as well. A lot more creativity. I think that was where they were struggling last year. Now Fabinho had a really difficult season. I thought defensively they were miles off it at times. But going forward, they always looked like they were capable of scoring goals. So I think if they shore that up and they get midfield sorted, you wouldn't expect them to have another season like they did last year. Yeah, I think it was confidence, and I think a bit more maybe pride in kind of the defensive work. I think there was probably at times maybe an overconfidence on we're going to score more than you, but in this league you have to be solid defensively. I think look what Newcastle did last year. They were so sound defensively, and they got into the Champions League. So they need to tighten up. That is the most important thing, because they've got the players and the ability to score against anyone. I do. I really think that Trent can play in that midfield role. I love him playing that role. I've actually been saying it for a long time, as a lot of people have. I just think defensively it takes away his weaknesses, really, if you play him in there. All his strengths are going forward, and if you put him in there and you put a solid right back in, I think you have a solid back four on the basis of a good defensive unit, and go and let him express himself in there. Another good appointment, I think. I love him as a man, and I love him as a manager. It's going to be, I think it's going to take a big character to go and kind of bring that huge squad together. A lot of egos in that dressing room, and I think at times, it's come out, it's been a difficult dressing room to manage. Graham Potter, I think, found that sort of baptism of fire for him, really. But I think Mauricio Pochettino will get hold of it, and I think you'll see a much improved Chelsea next year. Yeah, I think it's exciting. to move to a new club. Like I say, I probably did it more often than I wanted to be honest. But it's literally like being the new kid at school. Obviously, everyone's got their own places. You know, the seats on the bus, the places in the changing room. You need to find all that out very quickly. And what I found was best time to move is obviously start of pre-season, get it done in early, so you can go away. Meet your teammates. You work hard, you bond together, and then go into the new season ready to go. And the worst time to sign for a club was often just before the first game of the season, I thought.